Hi everyone. So welcome to IIM Bangalore UG. This is English. We're doing a grammar masterclass today. My name is Abhilasha and I'll be taking you through a few rules of grammar. So if you can see me and hear me, can you give me a quick yes or no? Am I audible or visible? I hope I am, right? That I am audible as well as being visible. Okay. Also, can you quickly hit the like button? Also, share the session so that others can also take advantage. And remember to hit the subscribe button so that you can participate in the live chat also. That's very important. And also, by hitting the subscribe button, you are able to get notifications, which again helps you to come back and connect. So that's that, guys. Let's get started. Today's grammar masterclass for IIM Bangalore UG. Here we go. So, of course, we already know that the IIM Bangalore courses are, the admissions are live 20th November. You have the forms. The test is on 13th of December. Interview window is 22nd to 31st of January. The offer releases on 28th. Last date is 31st. And release of waitlist will be 15th of April. So, there's a very fixed schedule for this. The syllabus, of course, is NCERT 10th, 11th, and 12th grade syllabus, 120 minutes. It'll be a computer-based test with 60 multiple choice questions. So English comprehension has 15 questions. QADI has 30 questions and logical has 15 questions. So 1/4 weightage is to your English comprehension and 15 questions to your logical. So 1/4, 1/4. The negative is 1/3 marks are deducted for incorrect responses. So that's that. Now, of course, what is it that you need to keep in mind when you're doing grammar? So, number one, grammar is not about speed, it is more about precision, right? The idea is not to remember or memorize every rule, but to recognize patterns. How do you recognize? Okay, so when you attempt a grammar question, first see what is it that is testing. Is it testing your subject verb agreement, modifiers, pronouns, tenses, parallelism? So every question will just generally have one major rule. If you spot that rule quickly, then it makes your life very, very easy. Now, how do you start? You start by breaking up the sentence into its core structure. So find the subject and the verb. Once you've found the subject and the verb, the agreement of the subject and verb happens. If you have more than one verb, then you are able to make the verbs parallel. If there are more than one subject, then you may be allowed to make the subject parallel. And then look for additions such as clauses, prepositional phrases, modifiers. Now, many errors are hiding inside these clauses, phrases, or modifiers and not in the main sentence. Then check whether each modifier is clearly attached or near the right subject. Check whether pronouns have an unambiguous antecedent. It is very clear what the pronoun is referring to. Be very conscious of options that sound right, because grammar questions are designed to trap those things. Do not rely on intuition. Don't say that, hey, this is how it is. Okay, aisa hota hai. That's not right. You have to remember the structures and then work from that. If an option is introducing unnecessary complexity, there are abrupt tense shifts, there are double negatives, or very rigid extreme words like always or never, be very careful about it. Reconsider, read, check. Simpler, cleaner sentences are usually the correct ones. Okay. The number of verbs are given and you're talking of a fact or a past fact, go for the simple tenses. If timing is not important, as in when the action has happened, generally it will be the simple tense. Okay. When you're eliminating options, look for violations of consistency. If there is a change in tense, if there are mismatched parallelisms, if there are incorrect comparisons or unclear references, make sure that you check. Each eliminated choice should be discarded for a specific grammatical reason, not because you don't like it. To improve accuracy, make it a habit to review 5-6 questions, every day from or sentences from editorials or articles. Identify the subject, what is the verb, check the modifiers, check the pronoun clarity. See if you're getting this right. Okay, so rewrite one incorrect sentence into a correct one. That will help you build a strong grammatical instinct slowly and steadily. With consistent practice, your ability to spot errors becomes almost automatic, making even difficult grammar questions manageable and predictable. So work at it step by step. All right, today I'm going to take you through a lot of grammar, basic grammar rules, and then towards the end of the session, we'll try and do a few questions also. So let's start with parts of speech. We know that grammar is all about the various parts of speech. Every sentence has words, and the words are classified according to their function and role in that sentence. These roles are called parts of speech, and there are 8 of them. You have the noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. So let's go through these. So the noun, of course, is the naming word. It is used to name a person, place, thing, idea, quality, or state. Now, there are 2 types of nouns. You have the countables or the uncountables. The countable nouns have plural forms. So book, books, okay, cat, cats. The uncountable ones do not. So information, advice, furniture, maths, economics, mumps, measles, news, furniture I've already told you. These are uncountable. Proper nouns are always to begin with a capital letter. For example, London, Shakespeare, these are names. Common nouns are commonly used nouns which you use, and therefore they are used for naming multiple units. Abstract nouns denote qualities or ideas, honesty, love, courage. They don't have plurals. Collective nouns are groups, so they may take singular or plural verbs depending on whether the group is acting as one unit or is it acting individually. And nouns in the possessive form take an apostrophe plus s for possession. The plural nouns that end in s take only the apostrophe. So you must remember that. Okay, so the nouns, of course, are teacher, river, democracy, unity, Paris, milk, and so on. Now, what's a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that substitutes a noun. You use it because you don't want your sentences to use the same noun 100 times, right? Now, what are the things you must keep in mind? The pronoun must agree with its antecedent, that is the referent noun in number, gender, and person. That means if the referent noun is singular, pronoun must be singular. If it is feminine or masculine, accordingly feminine and masculine, and person, first person, second person, third person, check. So every student must do his or her homework, right? Number. Every is singular, therefore his or her. Then pronouns occur in 3 cases: the subject case, the object case, and the possessive case. The subject case is I, he, she, they. These are used as subjects of sentences. He is the new prime minister. She is beautiful. They are friends. The objective case pronouns are used as objects of verb. So he helped me. I helped him. Right? They helped her. No one helped them. So these are all the objects. And the possessive pronouns show possession. So this car is mine, that car is hers, those dogs are theirs, showing ownership. Reflexive pronoun is used when the subject and the object are the same. He hurt himself. So use the self form, that's the reflective. The relative pronoun is used to introduce dependent clauses. They are connected with who, whom, whose, which, and that. The indefinite pronouns do not refer to any specific noun. So someone, each, either, none. All of these are indefinite pronouns. I, you, he, she, they, all of those. The adjective is the descriptive word. So it qualifies or describes a noun or a pronoun. That's their job. Okay. Now, where is it placed? It is generally placed before a noun. So, a beautiful flower. But generally after the linking verb in descriptive sentences. She is beautiful. The adjectives have 3 degrees of comparison. So, if the positive word, so for example, tall, the comparative which compares 2 people or 2 things, so taller, and the superlative which says out of a group, this one is the best, or the tallest, or the shortest, or whatever, one out of many. So when you describe one, use the positive degree. When you compare, use the comparative. When you talk of one out of many, then superlative. The order of the adjectives remain like this: opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose, and noun. a beautiful, large, old wooden table. That's the order that you would have. Now, the quantitative adjectives which tell you the quantity, some, little, many, few. And the qualities which tell you the quality, good, bright, honest, these are the qualitative ones. Okay. Now, verbs can be of two types. You have the ones that show action or those that show state or the linking verbs. So, a verb will express an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Now, the rules, of course, is that the singular subject must take a singular verb, a plural subject will take a plural verb. Now, verbs indicate time through tenses. There are three: present, past, and future. And there are four aspects, which are simple, continuous, and perfect continuous. The action verbs, the ones that show action, also use helping verbs, okay, to form verb phrases. The helping verbs or the auxiliary verbs is am, are, have, do, can, will help you to form the tenses or the voices or the mood. You also have the modal verbs. The modal verbs are also helping verbs. They can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, dare to, need to. And these also form, various moods or various, they generally are used to indicate purpose. Okay. And then you have two types of verbs essentially, the finite ones and the non-finite. The finite verbs change form with subjects or tense. The finite verbs are action verbs or helping verbs or linking verbs. The non-finite verbs are the ones that are used as nouns or adjectives. Infinite, infinitive, and gerunds are used as nouns, and participle is used as an adjective. Verbs exist in two voices. You have the active voice where the subject performs the action, and the passive voice where the subject receives the action. So I cut the cake. I is doing the action of cutting. The cake is cut by me. Here the subject is receiving the action. Right? So in the active voice, remember the subject will perform. A lot of times question of switching active to passive will come. Okay, what's an adverb? It is a modifying verb. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. It expresses how, where, when, how many times, degree of the verb or the adjective or the adverb. The adverbs are formed by generally adding ly to adjectives. So quick becomes quickly, right? Smooth becomes smoothly, and so on. They're generally placed after the verbs, especially those of manner, place, and time. The frequency verbs may be placed before the nouns also. He always arrives early. The comparative and superlative. So some adverbs do take comparison: fast, faster, fastest. Now remember, the adverb and the adjective can be used. They look similar also. So she looks beautiful. She sings beautifully. So she looks beautiful is the adjective. She sings beautifully is the adverb. Because when you use she looks beautiful, looks is not, there is no action that is happening. She is, the way her appearance is beautiful. So she is described by the word beautiful. So adjective. She sings how? She sings beautifully. So now here beautifully is describing the singing and not she. So therefore that's the adverb. Then the preposition, of course, shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to another word. Generally, time, place, direction, or cause relationships are marked there. Always followed by an object. Remember, a preposition does not occur by itself. If it is by itself, it's going to be an adverb. Preposition plus gerund. So she is fond of dancing. Always remember, a preposition will precede a gerund. Avoid ending sentences with prepositions. In formal English, you should not use it. Generally, in manner of speaking, you could. Fixed usages. So certain prepositions will collocate with specific words. So use them. Depend on, interested in. These are important because they sort of form your phrasal verbs, and they have certain specific meanings. So you should know those. The conjunction, of course, is the connecting word, and it can join words, phrases, or clauses. You have the coordinating conjunctions, which connect equal units, which are fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. The subordinating conjunctions which link a dependent clause to an independent one, because, although, since, if, rather, and so on. The correlative conjunctions which are used in pairs, so either or, neither nor, not only but also, no sooner than. Now, elements that are joined by conjunctions must be grammatically parallel. She likes dancing and singing, not to dance and singing. So remember that. Interjection, of course, is the exclamatory word. It expresses sudden emotion, reaction, or feeling. So they're independent of sentence grammar. They're followed by an exclamation. The tone or punctuation conveys the emotion, joy, surprise, pain, disgust, or greeting. Alas, oh, hurrah, wow, bravo. Those are all your interjections. And the next thing that you should know is subject verb agreement. Okay, now what is this subject verb agreement? It is that grammatical requirement that the subject and the verb must be in the same number. So if the subject is singular, the verb is singular. The subject is plural, the verb is plural. The student writes, the students write. The subject, when the subject is after the verb, please remember sentences which start with here and there. The verb will come first and the subject will come later, and they must match. When the subjects are compound, that means two subjects are joined by and, remember to put a plural verb. When they're joined by or nor, the verb will agree with the nearest subject, whatever is that. If it's singular, singular. If it's plural, plural. For the indefinite pronouns, they're always singular. Each, either, neither, everyone, someone, no one, nobody, nothing, anyone, anybody, anything. Okay, all of those. The collective nouns are singular when united. Plurals when the members act individually or are divided. Okay, so the jury are arguing among themselves. Because they're arguing, they're all divided. That's why arguing. Are. Time, money, and distance are always singular. Take a singular verb, right? 10 kilometers is a long walk. The nouns ending in s but singular in meaning will always be singular. Mathematics, politics, news, games, diseases, subjects, always singular. Now, tense, of course, is the time of an action, while the conditionals are describing hypothetical, probable, or unreal situations using the if clauses. So, the simple present simple is used for facts or habits. She writes daily. The past simple is used for completed action. So, he visited yesterday. The future simple is for predictions. They will arrive soon. The continuous form is for ongoing action. So, she is studying or was studying. The perfect forms are completed before another time. He has finished, she had left. The perfect continuous is the duration of the ongoing action. They have been waiting for an hour. Maintain the same timeline within a clause. She said that she was coming, not is coming. Okay. Now, conditionals. The conditionals are causal relationships, right? So there are four of them. You have the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, the third one, and then you have the mixed conditional. So the zero conditional says is used for universal truths or facts. So it is, if you heat water, it boils. That means simple present plus, I will just erase all of this and rewrite. So this will be simple present plus simple present. Okay, both the sides will have simple present. The first conditional, which shows real future possibility, is simple present and then simple future. So if it rains, we will stay indoor. Okay, simple present plus simple future. Okay. The second conditional is unreal hypothetical present. Okay. So this one is written as simple past and then would and then the base form of the verb. So if I were rich, I would travel. The third conditional is hypothetical because the cause is not happening or the cause is already over. So it's coming from an unreal past. So therefore, this one is written like this: if, had plus past. So if you have the past perfect, simple. If you have the past perfect, then we'll take would plus the V3 form. Okay. So therefore, would have eaten or would have done whatever. The mixed conditionals are the condition is past and the result is present, or the condition is present and the result is past. So those can also happen. Okay, if he had listened, he would be happier now. If he were not so crazy, he would have been successful. So both will work. Now, modifiers. What are modifiers? Modifiers essentially words, phrases, or clauses that describe, limit, or qualify another word to add a detail, clarity, or precision. So these are descriptors. The descriptor must be placed next to the thing that it is modifying. If it is not placed there, then it is incorrect. So, hanging from the wall. Who is hanging from the wall? The visitor. Incorrect. So, no. So, the visitor admired the painting hanging from the wall. Then it would be correct. Okay. If there is a modifier but has no subject, you must clarify. Walking down the street, the trees looked beautiful. Who is walking down the street? The trees? No. So add, as I was walking down the street, or when I was walking down the street, the trees looked beautiful. Remember to avoid misplaced modifier. That means the word has to be placed near the thing it is modifying. Don't place it here or there. She nearly drove the car for 8 hours. No, nearly drive, there is no such thing as you either drive or you don't drive. So she drove the car for nearly 8 hours. This nearly has to come for 8 hours. That means just about 8 hours. So she drove the car for nearly 8 hours. Remember, adjectives versus adverbs have to be correct. Adjectives will modify nouns, adverbs will modify verbs, adjectives, or clauses. So make it very clear. The modifiers could be restrictive or non-restrictive. The ones that are restrictive are using that. The ones that are non-essential or non-restrictive use which. The ones which are with which will always be comma separated. So that's important. Keep that in mind. All right. Parallelism is a very simple grammatical rule that you keep similar ideas in similar structures to ensure clarity, rhythm, and logical balance. Sentences also need to be balanced. So you match grammatical form, put all the infinitives together, put all the gerunds together, put all the nouns together, put all the pronouns together. So she likes reading, writing, and painting. He prefers walking to running. Either the manager will approve the plan or the board will reject it. So you're matching up all the things that are there. A list must have the same pattern. The policy aims to reduce pollution, improve health, and boost economic growth. I want a verb and a noun, a verb and a noun, a verb and a noun, and also the verbs need to be in the same form. Reduce, improve, boost. Reducing, improving, boosting. Okay. The parallel clauses again must be similar. The committee argued that the budget was unrealistic and that the timeline was impractical. Okay, perfect. Here are a few questions. Let's do these. So identify the error in the underlined part of the sentence. The committee praised his meticulous attention to details, but criticized his recklessly ignoring the deadline. Now, if they praised his meticulous attention to detail, see, look at the phrasing, but criticized his recklessly ignoring the deadlines or his ignorance of, his reckless ignorance of the deadlines. So, therefore, here is the part which has an error. So, meticulous attention, reckless, see, I'll write it there also. Reckless in ignorance of deadlines. See, now these are parallel, right? So we must make sure. All right, one of the biggest challenges in climate negotiations. Now, if I'm talking of one of the biggest challenges, then I need to make sure that this is not plural because I'm talking of one. So one has to be singular. Therefore, is. So see, subject and verb must agree with each other. If the subject is one, then the verb has to be are. Any phrase that starts with of is a prepositional phrase, so you can cut it out. Okay. I will just cut out all the extra phrases and keep. All right. Look at this. The scientists revealed, okay, that the particles behave differently than expected. Revealed that the particles behaved differently than expected. That the reveals, so see the difference here, huh? Had revealed that they behave differently than expected. Okay, so if the scientists revealed, I don't want reveals, huh? Reveals is very awkward. So revealed that the particles behave differently than expected, correct? Now, so therefore the first sentence will be correct, the others won't. Okay, the crisis could have been avoided. This tells me this is the third conditional. So I want the past perfect here, correct? So for the past perfect, if the policy had been implemented, was implemented, the crisis could have been avoided, had been implemented. That is the only one that you can take. If the policy had been implemented earlier, the crisis could have been avoided. All right, take a look at this. Walking through the corridor. Who is walking through the corridor? Is it the portrait? No. So clearly there is a problem. The visitors, so I have to make some change here, and the best change could be here. So as we were walking through the corridors, or as they were walking through the corridors, the portrait seemed to watch the visitors. Okay. She hopes to improve her writing skill, learn, and master, right? So I wanted to use improve, learn, and master, right? So take a look. I want to make it all parallel. She wants to improve her writing skills, learn to analyze argument, and master vocabulary. That will be the correct answer. The director delivered a speech so inspiring that the audience remained engaged for an hour. So inspiring. Okay. Now, when you have neither nor, the verb must match with the nearest subject. So, what will be the nearest subject? Employees. So, should I use was? No. Should I use is? No. Should I use has been? No. I will use were. So, therefore, the correct answer. By the time the researcher arrives, the data were already. Oh, so see, there is a past and the past of the past. So, this should be past perfect. Okay, and this should be simple past. Or this should be the simple present, and that should be the past. So by the time the researcher arrives, the data is already analyzed. Okay, so if I keep this as it is, I must change this to is already analyzed by the assistants. Okay, can you nearly spend? No, you want to spend nearly all her savings. So she spent nearly all her savings traveling last year. Please remember the modifier must be near the thing you want to modify and nowhere else. Here are your answers. All right, guys. If you have any questions you wish to ask, any thoughts that are there in your mind, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will see you next week. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Peace out. I will see you. For any inquiries, of course, connect to this number. I hope you're writing the test. If you're not, please make sure you're writing the test ASAP. All right? Thank you. Bye-bye.